While New York and Los Angeles dominate the headlines, internal migration patterns point elsewhere. Population growth is accelerating in rural zip codes and small towns that saw decades of decline. For decades, major cities functioned as the primary hubs for career advancement. They concentrated high-paying corporate roles and specialized industries into a few square miles, forcing workers to move there to secure a middle-class income. But the cost of entry for that model has reached a breaking point. The basic trade-offs of urban living, trading space for access, have become a net loss for the average family. The most immediate pressure is the financial floor. In major metros, housing costs are outpacing salary growth, making homeownership a statistical improbability for many. When you add record rent to the rising cost of utilities and groceries, a six-figure salary can still feel like living paycheck to paycheck. Beyond the balance sheet, there is the daily friction of the city. Residents spend hundreds of hours a year in gridlock and navigate overtaxed public services. Even in these dense crowds, reported rates of social isolation are climbing. The math simply stopped working. As expenses erased the benefits of higher urban wages, many families found themselves with less disposable income, leading to a measurable outflow of residents toward lower-cost regions. The exit door opened when companies shifted toward decentralized operations. Jobs that previously required a physical presence in a downtown office became location-independent. The expansion of high-speed fiber optic networks severed the requirement to live near the office. An employee can now process data or manage teams from a home office hundreds of miles away from the company headquarters. This chart shows geographic arbitrage, retaining a high-cost city salary while living where land and services are cheaper. This allows families to acquire larger properties, lower property taxes, and increase savings. An urban one-bedroom income can often finance a multi-bedroom rural home. High-speed internet allowed these rural areas to host the same corporate productivity as a skyscraper. It moved high-purchasing power households into local economies that were previously struggling to attract new residents. But the financial incentive is only part of the story. Many movers seek an interconnected social structure to counter the loneliness of modern life. Small towns offer a physical community infrastructure. This includes neighbors who know each other by name, local events that foster a sense of belonging, and a generally slower, more predictable environment for raising a family. Choosing this lifestyle no longer requires giving up the advantages of modern infrastructure or urban amenities. Modern connectivity provides rural access to telemedicine, global e-commerce, and specialized online education. These digital tools have narrowed the gap between urban services and rural living. Movers are finding they can maintain a high-tech career while living in a community built on traditional social values. They are integrating 21st-century tools into the classic American town. This transition isn't seamless for every community. A rural zip code isn't a guarantee of a better life without the necessary local support systems. The most significant challenge is the healthcare gap. Many small towns lack the infrastructure for specialized healthcare or emergency services, meaning residents must still travel long distances for major medical procedures. There is also the challenge of retaining younger residents. Despite the rise in remote work, many young adults still migrate to larger metros for specific educational opportunities and entry-level career networking. Long-term success for these towns depends on local leaders investing in broadband, transportation, and diverse job markets to sustain a growing population. To thrive, a small town must do more than just exist. It has to actively adapt its services to meet the needs of a modern, mobile workforce. The current data suggests this isn't a temporary trend. As long as urban housing remains expensive and location-independent work remains an option, the migration towards smaller communities will likely persist. This is a reorganization of the American dream. The new priority is a balance between career, space, and personal well-being, rather than living as close as possible to a central business district. Relocation data shows a growing preference for these communities. Families are increasingly treating small towns as primary targets for long-term settlement, rather than temporary stops. If you could take your current career to a small town, would you make the move? Tell us why or why not in the comments below. And for more stories on how the American landscape is shifting, subscribe and turn on notifications.